Hello, welcome back to the BCS podcast episode. Who cares? It's the game. That's all this matters really this week. We'll
Yep.
do a little bit of the usual stuff, but I mean, we all know what this is about. So let's be honest here.
Yep.
Um, yeah. So how was your week, Cozy?
Very boring. I watched the scrimmage happen. It was like the most bland offense I think I've ever seen us run. And I'm talking like this was more bland than Jim Tressel era, like Tressel ball bland offense. So yeah. Um, I knew we weren't going to show anything. And yeah, that's pretty much about it.
Yeah, Michigan seemingly kind of did the same thing that we've done the last couple of years, last year with Sharon, where the team's just kind of like possum, dead dog, sucks pretty much the whole year. Then the week before Ohio, they decide to open up the entire playbook for some reason.
Yeah.
That was the most fun I've had watching Michigan game in a long time. It's nice to see that they finally realized that the best player on the team is Andrew Marsh, and that he should have been playing. The fact that he wasn't playing until October 1st is hilarious. And obviously, with injuries to the Ohio State guys, there was the stat that came out that Andrew Marsh has the most receiving yards since he started starting, which obviously it's a cherry pick stat, and it helps that both Ohio guys missed at least a game. So, um, but I mean, still compared to other guys in the league, it's crazy, like a Michigan receiver. So, I mean, because all you hear is about how bad Bryce has been and all this stuff, but like, whatever. I mean, the kid's 18. Played heads up against the other freshman everyone's been glazing, who is a 19, almost 20. He's a full year and a half older than him, Malik Washington, and obviously took care of business head to head. So, and we kind of did the same thing where we didn't let Jordan Marshall play, and we had Kutztal and O'Mara and Jasper Parker, basically like computer generated guys running the ball back there. It was good to see Michigan able to actually run the ball. So, and then again, it's freaking Maryland, and we have a bit better of a run defense this week, I'd say. So
Maybe just a little bit. I mean, let's be honest here. Rutgers and Maryland could probably form an all-star team between their two teams. And I'm not sure that they're going to be able to compete. It's kind of crazy to say, like, Rutgers could go win this week against Penn State and become bowl eligible. Like,
yeah,
look, I don't ever want to like criticize the Big Ten or the SEC argument and stuff like that. But if Rutgers is one of our bowl eligible teams,
hey, they beat Miami a couple years ago. That was really good for the conference narratives.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, Rutgers is not good. Maryland is not good. Yeah, I don't know how Maryland keeps their coach. Like, I don't know how.
They haven't won since September. So
Yeah.
back when we had three of us on this podcast, we talked about September Maryland. Yeah, that pretty accurate statement. Quickly running down last week.
Yeah.
Again, not much going on. It was the SEC plays nobody week. The SEC that did play somebody was Oklahoma took care of Missouri. Game looked kind of competitive for a while. Missouri was hanging in there. Oklahoma, I don't know what they have a really good defense, but that offense, Mateer is clearly still hurt, but whatever.
Yep.
BYU, Cincinnati. I mean, I didn't watch a ton of this game. Cincinnati just kept like shooting themselves in the foot, is what it looked like.
Yeah, pretty much. I watched a little bit because it was on where I was at. Yeah, they couldn't get out of their own way.
Yeah. Most fun game of the week for sure was Utah, Kansas State. I watched the end of this game. I'm trying to get the exact stat. You keep going. Yeah.
There was a few games at the very end of the like around like that 3:30 window period of games that were just like crazy nuts comebacks.
750 yards of rushing in this game, by the way.
Yeah. That Utah game, Utah was pretty much done, out. There's no way they were going to win that game. And then Kansas State just kind of, I don't even know what they did. They just kind of like, were like, hey, you know what? We're going to give the ball back. And yeah, that's how
the run up the middles weren't going for 100 yards. 47-35 was the score when Kansas State scored again with 7 minutes to go in the game. They're up 12, and then they end up losing 51-40.
Yeah, it was a very crazy, nuts, back and forth kind of game. Very unexpected.
The pick six of the 2-point conversion was crazy. So.
The other game that was kind of nuts and crazy that was at that 3:30 window was actually in our own Big Ten conference, Iowa, Michigan State. Michigan State just kind of decided we were gonna give the game to Iowa.
So it looked like it was an NFL game where they were clearly tanking, but obviously they
Yes,
have no reason to lose.
yeah, it
I
looked
do
like
kind of love going the pooch punt was sweet. I like that a lot
yes,
but I got an idea. Don't kick it to the best punt returner sneaky in the Big Ten history. Like this, that kid, they punted right at him twice. I mean, like I don't.
I mean, here's the thing. I can say this. I had actually Iowa and Utah only money line wins in a parlay, and it was a 12-team parlay. Unfortunately, there was one leg that lost, and the shocking leg that lost was Illinois to be money line winner against Wisconsin. But we'll talk about that. But yes, yeah, I was kind of going nuts for about 10 so minutes or whatever. Just because it did look like Michigan State just like was like, hey, you know what? We don't want to win this game.
Yeah,
like,
we're good.
Yeah, it was very weird, and I was like, okay, I'm good with it. So, but yeah.
Yeah, and
that,
then that one we can talk about your game in a second, but the only other one really was Pitt, Georgia Tech. I mean, Pitt said they didn't care last week, and that they cared about this week. They showed it. They got Miami this week, and then I think it would be Pitt versus I think this is Pitt versus SMU, or if Virginia wins, I think it's Pitt versus Virginia. I don't know, or not Pitt. It'd be SMU versus Virginia. I think SMU is pretty much in. So the ACC is going to be weird.
SMU.
I hate being an elitist conference guy, but are you really going to leave out a BYU team probably for James Madison and SMU?
Yeah.
Hey, it is what it is, I guess.
I mean, SMU does still have one game left, but they are playing at Cal.
Just fired their coach.
But here's the thing: Cal does have some talent. They do play better at home, but once again, they just kind of got destroyed by Stanford. So
that's hard to do. Stanford win total of 2.5. I think win total of 2 or 2.5 this year, and they didn't obviously hit that. So good for them.
Yeah, but yeah. Outside of that, I mean, ACC is kind of crazy. Big 12 kind of sorted itself out. It's going to be. They've already both clinched, right? Or they still both got to win.
ACC's got 3 left. I think it's 3 today. Unless
I'm
talking Big 12. Yeah. I think it's done.
Okay.
I can check quickly. There's a FanDuel line for it, I'm sure.
I'm pretty positive. Yes, BYU is playing.
Yep, that's the only line I see. BYU is a 10.5-point underdog for Texas Tech.
Okay.
And then there's 3 possibilities for the SEC. It's Georgia, Bama. Basically, it's Georgia, Bama, and A&M. So Georgia needs one of the 2 to lose to get in. And then for the ACC, it's SMU or Virginia. And then I think Pitt would have to need either one of them to lose. So if SMU and Virginia win, they're in. So be kind of a fun playoff ACC game, SMU Virginia. Yeah. No one really saw that one coming.
I mean, here's the thing. I think everyone wants to see Pitt in the ACC championship game. They just want to see Pitt win the ACC and then get left out of the playoff because it'd be really funny. Not going to lie. After what Narduzzi said, and he was like, oh, well, Notre Dame doesn't matter. We just got to win our conference and we're in the playoff. Be very funny to see JMU and North Texas in there.
Mm-hmm. Let me see here if they have it.
Other than that, I don't got anything for this week other than I will touch on my game real quick. It was very bland. It was very boring. We ran a lot of 22 and 12 packages. Yeah, I mean, we utilized we had a 13 package at one point in the game. And I'm pretty sure we might have ran a few plays even with 23 package personnel. So, look, it was what it was. It was Rutgers. I think we kind of knew what we were getting. The defense scored a touchdown. They looked good. It was senior day. Good to send off a lot of the seniors. But on to next week. lot of intensity here in Columbus you can feel this week. So, but
Yeah, I don't have the pulse of Ann Arbor like I used to a little bit. But it's weird. With the Michigan fans I've been, dealing with and talking to, you can definitely tell that people aren't as confident this year as they've been in years past. Um, Obviously, rightfully so, in my opinion. Um, People are selling tickets and such, which, it is what it is. Um, I don't know. I think it's gonna be a very interesting game. I mean, we can just get right into it.
yeah,
The last couple of years, obviously, I would say it's more Ohio State losing than Michigan winning. Well, last year specifically,
yeah,
I think you'll need a bit of that. We'll see if Carnell Tate plays. I mean, Jeremiah is going to play. Come
yeah.
on. Carnell stuff's interesting. A lot of weird stuff with that situation. We'll see what ends up happening there. Um, Look, man, there's like this could be like kind of like what I did a little bit last year, where it's like devil and angel, right? So the angel of Michigan winning, how that happened. So I think you need to take a lead early. I think you need Ohio State to mentally collapse again. Um, Maybe Ryan Day keeps thinking that he has to run the ball for some reason against Michigan since Harbaugh bullied him into thinking that way. Um, if it becomes like the slow slugfest that Ohio State's kind of been playing at I mean, not kind of, very much been playing at a way slower pace than they usually do this year. If you slow it down into a knife fight where it's like first to 15 for 17, 20 type game, then I could see it happening. Jordan Marshall should be fine to play. I mean, you need him to break off one or two, which I don't even know if he physically can. Um, you're getting quite a few breaks, and you're going to have to play a perfect game. Last year was, I think, such an anomaly where you played like a C game, I'd say almost out of Michigan, and you end up winning somehow. Um, I doubt that happens this year. I'm of the thought process that the national championship lifted Ryan Day to like nothing matters but this game now for him, for real. Even though obviously it's significantly devalued in years past, and I know that gets everyone mad, but it's just a fact. Like they lost last year and they won the title, so who really gives a shit? Um, so, and then the main point I've been trying to beat this home for a long time to people is last year Michigan had nothing to lose, right? You can play and do whatever you wanted. Who cared? You were supposed to lose by 50. Everyone's like, oh, Ryan Day's gonna hang 100, Michigan's gonna lose by a billion, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we had nothing to lose. So we were played loose. I think we'll play super tight this year. I think, like I was saying all last year with Sharon, with Chip Kelly and Ryan Day dynamic, where it's like the second that game gets close, Ryan Day's gonna be like, shut up, Chip, it's my turn. We're gonna run out the ball middle 10 times. I think Sharon probably do the same thing. Or if he gets close, that'll happen. And as much as I hate to say it, I think Bryce Underwood might try to do a little too much to win this game. He obviously was born in this rivalry. He knows this rivalry. He gets it a lot more than a lot of the guys on really either sideline. I mean, the fact that he was born, in the era where he grew up and probably never saw Michigan win, barring like once, before this last few stretch. And I just think he'll try to do a little too much, and he might do a turnover or two. Because like Michigan, it's like, look, you need to have zero turnovers. You need to play perfectly on every side of the ball. You need the special teams to somehow not suck. You need your punter to be awesome. The Samaj problem's been taken care of, so that's fun. Andrew Marsh, by the way, in 2 games of returning punts, has more yards than Samaj does the entire season. That's just hysterical. But you just need a lot to go right. But again, like I keep saying, like, everything says they should win. That's just kind of obviously how it's been the last couple seasons. But you can't handicap for the fact that if you look up there and it's like 10-3 at the half, somehow Michigan's up, or like 7-3 or something light, and Michigan's leading at the half, they could snap. Like they could go out of it. I know it's the coward response, but there is a part of me in my brain where it's like, you kind of can see the Sharon guys really maybe not all that. We have Tate and, well, maybe Tate, but we have Jeremiah banged up, whatever. just sit everybody and not let Michigan win, but like, go out there with the backups or something, make a more competitive game, save yourselves for the long run. Because I mean, Ohio State, look, 10,000 foot view. I know this is the dumb part of me talking here. It's almost better if they lose, and because you'd have Sharon would get an extension because he is renegotiating this offseason. You would get a month off. You wouldn't have to play in the Big Ten nonsense against Indiana, who's going to make the Super Bowl. Because we saw last year how it worked out for the teams that played in the conference championship games across the board. I don't know. I don't know. But obviously, I think none of that matters. I think Ryan Day realizes this is the last thing he's got to check off on his box. Then he's done everything he can at Ohio State, and who really gives a shit? But um, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, Michigan, the last few seasons, including like basically our win streak, has just seen guys turn into like Hall of Famers for 4 quarters, which used to happen to Ohio State guys. It'd be like, who are these dudes? They've done nothing all year. Oh my God, this guy's, got a gold coat on. So obviously, Khalil Mullings turned into one of those running backs of all time last year. Makari Page turned into freaking Ed Reed. Um, the offensive line had their best game of the season. So I don't know. I mean, you get one or two plays from one or two random guys, and this whole game flips. I mean, we have our starting linebacker and captain, having a find a God moment, quitting the team, then rejoining the team, then quitting the team, then rejoining the team, all within a week and a half. Who knows? Maybe he strikes down the vanquished Buckeyes with the sword of Michael the Archangel or some shit. I don't know. That seems like what we need in this game. But yeah, significantly less confident than I have been in the years past. It's always been on the table in years past. This one is really interesting. I'm worried about the defense. I think the offense is fine between the 20s. The red zone offense for Michigan is going to be something interesting. And I just hope Jordan Marshall's good. I hope Andrew Marsh can do what he can do, but we'll see. I mean, you kind of throw everything out in the game, especially Michigan the last couple seasons. They've been shit, and there's all of a sudden become really good. So hopefully Sharon does his gimmick where we suck the whole year and then somehow beat Ohio. God bless.
Yeah. So I'm kind of rolling off what you said. Yeah, I mean, on paper, we're the better team. But again, we've been the better team multiple years. 2021 coming off a just absolute trashing of a Michigan State team who beat you guys. And I mean, it was like there was like, I think Michigan fans, like I remember we went up there early and we parked and we're tailgating with Michigan people and they're like, oh, we just hope we keep it close today. Like, you guys are awesome. Like, blah, 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 this. And you know what? Here's the thing. It's quite funny. We threw for a lot of yards that game.
Like 500.
Even though it was like snowing and windy and all this other stuff, we still threw for a lot. It's just we couldn't stop you on the run. Like, you ran all over us. And it was just like we could move the ball and we get it to like midfield or like past midfield. And then all of a sudden you guys would come up with a sack and then we'd have to punt. That was kind of like the difference in that game. I mean, 2022, it was just like first half, hey, guess what? We're here. And then second half, some other things might have been conspiring. But no, I mean, you guys broke 2 long runs and it was like the nail in the coffin. And then like 2023 was honestly like probably one of the more back and forth battles. Like, it wasn't a blowout either way. It wasn't really dominating either way. Michigan had their like great plays. They had the big pick at the end. You had like signature plays, and like those are the signature plays that we used to make. Like, those are the plays that we came through. I mean, it's always been like that throughout history. I kind of go back to Jim Tressel's first game when he played Michigan, all the way back in 2001. We went up there. We were major underdogs, and we just housed you guys in the first half. I mean, we were up like 23-0 at halftime. And then Michigan started coming back. They had a Hail Mary heave to end the game to try and win it. We hung on. I mean, we intercepted it. We hung on. We had a huge upset win. I mean, second half, we packed it in. We were like, let's get out of here with a win. Honestly, I don't care what it takes. Just get it done. win by 1. I do not care. If we go up there and it's like 3 feet of snow is on the ground, I don't care. Score a touchdown and then milk the clock. But I will say this. The one thing is this year is, so I think the defense is much improved. It wasn't the defense last year. The defense was fine last year. Everyone forgets, like, Michigan really only had one drive, and that was to take it back. They had 2 drives. Like, their touchdown was in a first thing. They got the ball first and goal. Their field goal drive twice down there where they threw the pick, and then the other one where they kicked the go-ahead field goal. Both those were probably their only 2 drives of the game. Like, the defense was not the problem last year. Just don't get too much in your head. You know what? It's kind of one of those things where we're like relaxed this year, though. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Because it doesn't. Realistically speaking, again, like I said, it doesn't matter if you lose.
Like, there's not a lot of
play loose.
There doesn't seem like there's a lot of pressure on it.
No, pressure is all on Michigan this year.
But here's the thing: everybody's fired up. Everybody's fired up. Everybody's like, let's go. And you know what? I can say this. So, like, I'm looking for a ticket. I'm definitely going to buy a ticket. I've never seen this many tickets for sale on Ticketmaster.
Oh, I said earlier, I think it's going to be a quarter Ohio State fans like used to.
This is like it. I can tell you 2021, I bought tickets. I had to get them through an Ohio State ticket exchange person. And same thing happened in 2023 because there was hardly any tickets online. This year, there's tons. There are tons. Now, if Michigan were to win, they go to the playoffs, I believe. I honestly think they go to the playoffs.
I just looked at the odds. It was different earlier. People keep talking about how we don't control our own destiny. So Michigan money line currently on the FanDuel Sports Network is plus 315. Michigan make the playoffs is plus 320.
Okay, so what I will say is, in a alternate world where Michigan, let's say, wins like this snow globe game and it's like 10-7, 10-6, whatever. There's a outside possibility that we drop to a 7 seed. And there's a possibility that Michigan ends up at the 10 seed.
No, they'd never do that.
You don't think they would ever? You're not telling me that 25 million people wouldn't watch the game in the playoffs?
No, I think they'd wait for another farther down the road. But they've done it before where they flipped the rankings where it's like to make it so people play each other.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like maybe
I think they would do the opposite, like to make it so it'd be like you play it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think they keep showing this one thing where it's like, oh, could I think what is it like Alabama or Oklahoma would play Ole Miss again? I'm like, no. They would flip that. They don't want rematches.
Look, I don't know what would happen. I'm hoping that it doesn't happen because I can tell you right now, every person I've talked to, like there are people that I've talked to about other stuff, and we don't talk about sports a lot, that are in a text message talking about the game this week. Like OSU students, former like alumni, and like they don't talk about sports, but it's like, we got to win this week. We got to beat them. And like, it's just the mindset right now. And like, I kind of agree with you. A lot of your fans are kind of like, and they're like, let's just beat Ohio State, but I'm not expecting much.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I'm going to rear back if we win and like take my foot off.
Oh, for sure.
No, X's and O's wise, I think we know what this matchup is. I think we know if we come to play, but here's the thing. Everyone needs to come to play. Kenyatta Jackson, Caden Curry, Arvell Reese, Caleb Downs. Iggy needs to come play. No holding penalties. No passing. I know we're guaranteed one. I know we are.
We have real receivers this year.
Yes.
Receiver this year, Iggy.
Yeah. Jermaine Matthews Jr. I mean, I need to see – I want to see the Michigan team that played Northwestern and Purdue, because if I get that team, if I get those 2 teams, I am very confident we'll win.
You'll find me hanging. No,
because I don't think the only game that I can really honestly point at to where like we were just like super conservative and whatever it was, Texas. Like, we can be bland and not conservative. Texas, we were too conservative.
Shit, you
Don't
play
do
like
that.
so you play that Texas game against Michigan
Yes. Don't do that.
because we know Sarkisian's a dumbass. Like, Michigan would score on those goal line and go situations. We'd run
Yes.
the ball in the throat, and how again people forget how close Michigan State, how close Ohio State was sneaky was to losing that Texas game.
Yeah.
Like obviously it was still a shot, but
Yeah.
like they dominated it for 4 quarters, and Texas had the ball down 7.
Yeah.
No chance to win.
I mean, the thing is, it's just like, do not have the Texas game. And if you avoid, I mean, from a defensive side of the ball, like, we're fine if we play like we did against Texas. But offensively, don't go conservative, be bland, because right now we're running an NFL style offense. We are running the formula. We take the play clock all the way down. You have motion. You see if they're in zone or man. Like, you're seeing everything. And to me, that says you trust Julian Saint as a quarterback. I think I've said this multiple times. I don't care if he wins a Heisman. I don't care if anybody on our team wins a Heisman. Just win games. Just win games. We could throw the ball for 150 yards and run for 100 yards in this game. And if we still win the game 10-6, 10-5, 10-3, 10-7, whatever it is, I'm fine. I don't care. Just win. Just win. I will say this. I do think we put up some points. I don't think we put up a lot. I think that it's a very bland type of game plan. I think we have 3 solid drives. I think we get maybe 1 turnover, and I think we score like 24 points. I actually think Michigan plays probably one of their better games. They figured some stuff out against Maryland. And I think my final score prediction is like 24-14.
Okay. We can quickly fly through some games the rest of the week before we wrap out of here. Thursday used to be the Egg Bowl day, but we got Navy Memphis, which is sneaky, a really fun game. Someone's going to a really cool bowl game. I got some fantasy guys in that. By the way, we do have a big matchup this week. Me versus Cozy in our fantasy football championship for college.
Yes.
So we'll see how that one goes. Everyone else in the league got vanquished. It was pretty obvious who was going to be. The big dogs were on the conference. Come on. Friday, Ohio Buffalo. I believe Ohio wins. They go to the championship game.
Correct.
Buffalo wins.
Yes.
They are a bowl team. Buffalo stinks.
Yeah, they're not great, but
Utah, Kansas. A lot of points in this game. I think Utah probably smacks Kansas. They have like a super outside chance, I think, of making the Big 12 championship game if BYU loses. Maybe there's some weird way because they have odds still. I think. I can double check right now.
There is, because Utah would need. No, I don't think they can actually.
Utah's plus 5,500. I think Utah needs Texas Tech to lose.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, here's the thing. So they would need Texas Tech to lose, BYU to lose, and Arizona State to win because they beat it. They would need Texas Tech to lose. Utah would win the tiebreaker over Arizona State, Utah, and Texas.
Yeah, these are the current odds, or as you can see.
Yes.
Plus 5,000, plus 6,000.
So it's like very unlikely that it's not going to be Texas Tech and BYU, considering Texas Tech plays West Virginia and BYU plays, who do they play? UCF. Yeah, I'm not too confident in UCF beating BYU at BYU.
Yeah. And then looking at the Big Ten, it's Ohio State and Indiana. And I believe if Michigan beats Ohio State.
Purdue.
What?
Purdue.
No, I'm saying for Big Ten.
Oh, yeah.
It's Ohio State and Indiana. If Ohio State wins, they're in. If Indiana wins, they're in.
Yep.
If Ohio State loses and Oregon wins, Oregon's in. And if both Oregon and Ohio State lose, Michigan's in. Or Indiana.
And if Indiana, Oregon, and Ohio State lose, it's Ohio State, Michigan in the Big Ten championship the next week, which
that would rock.
That would be nuts.
That'd rock. Let me see here. Back to the schedule. Iowa, Nebraska. Iowa's a 7-point favorite on the road. Nebraska stinks now.
They're so bad. They got destroyed.
They got a good game
last week.
Kent State, Illinois. Oh my God, Northern Illinois. Gross. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Egg Bowls at noon. Mississippi State plus 7.5 is my.
I'm gonna say
Oop.
this, and I think Lane's looking down the road. I think Lane is looking down the road, and I got Mississippi State with a money line upset.
Oh, see, I was gonna have
They have
Mississippi
been.
State as my lock of the week spread. I didn't know about money line.
Oh well, I think that they're going to win money line. You could have the lock of the week for the spread. I think they're winning outright. I think that this is the perfect. How do I put this? Lane loses, and then he can be like, "Oh, well, see, I can't win the big game, guys. I'm never going to be able to win the big game, so you might as well me." And then he goes off into the sunset and says, "Hello to Florida, not LSU."
I don't think he goes to Florida, LSU, or Ole Miss. There's my hot take. I got a 10,000 IQ thing I'll talk about later. But Georgia, I'm just going to go back to ranking games only. Sorry, non-ranked teams. You guys suck. Georgia Tech, Georgia. This game is at Georgia Tech in the Alamo, not the Alamo Bowl,
in the Mercedes-Benz Dome,
Superdome,
which is totally unfair to Georgia Tech because it will be all Georgia fans.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I don't know. I think Georgia Tech fans are actually excited.
14's a lot.
You know what? My lock of the week is definitely Georgia Tech to cover this. I think they might win outright. I know they looked bad last week.
Gotta be fun.
But I'm going to tell you what, they want to win this game, especially after last year. They should have won in Athens last year.
And then to finish out a great day, Texas A&M, Texas. A&M's a 2.5-point favorite on the road. I think Texas winning would be the funniest thing ever. So they would act like they could have a chance to get in the playoffs for 9-3. I think Texas wins. It'd be very funny.
I think Texas wins in a blowout. I think Marcel Reed comes back with his whole whatever against South Carolina was happening. I think he throws a few first half picks. I think it's like,
wow. I like that.
I think it's like 31 to like 10 or 13 for our final. And I think Texas pretty much just has like, they just do whatever they want. I mean, hell, it might even be worse than that. I think it's just a complete blowout. And I think Sark is going to want to like throw the hammer down as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So then we got Miami Pitt. Kind of love Pitt. I love Miami. Sorry. They sneaky can somehow get in with the outside chance of a at-large bid, which would be crazy. So I think they're going to try to kill somebody there.
Yep.
Vandy, Tennessee. Could Vandy sneak their way into the playoff? Maybe. Who knows?
Give me Vandy to win this. I think Vandy wins. Yep.
Okay. Oregon, Washington. I think Oregon rolls Washington.
I think that this is the same thing as an Ohio State, Michigan type of thing where they have the mind block. They erased it last year. And I think that now that they've erased it, Dane Lanning is just going to pour it on. And I like Oregon to cover.
Okay. And then Alabama, Auburn. Auburn now on their third string quarterback, but freshman Deuce Knight, kid ran for like 1,000 yards last week. You know what they say about mobile quarterbacks against Bama?
I am going to say this, and I've seen this from quite a few. Some people don't know, unfortunately, this Twitter handle that's on my thing. I don't have access to right now, so I have a separate brand new Twitter, and I see a lot of Alabama fans posting, and they, as soon as the Iron Bowl was made a night game, go, oh no, the place that does voodoo magic all the time, weird things happen at Jordan Hare. Why are we playing at 7:30? What is going on? I think that there's going to be some crazy things happen in this place. I think that I don't know if I was seeing a clip from the other time when it was the last time it was played at 7:30. A police dog actually bit an Auburn player. So like weird things happen at Jordan Hare at night. I think weird things happen here, and I think Auburn actually upsets Alabama and knocks them out of the playoffs.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I think there's a decent amount of upsets this week in rivalry week, if you can't tell. Well, I have the two major ones. I know what you're saying, but I think that I think Auburn, Alabama is an upset. I think Georgia Tech and Georgia could be literally close, but I really think the Egg Bowl, if I had to throw all my eggs in one basket, I'm picking Mississippi State though as my major upset.
That'd be fun. All right. Well, I think that's all we got. Thank you as always for watching and liking and subscribing the rest of this year. We'll get into some more sports going forward as Michigan Hoops team is the best team in the history of the planet. But yeah, we'll see you guys later. And yeah, peace.
Go Bucks.